Hey everyone, welcome to Anti-Riggers United. We have an AMA with MiNDTOKEN today, so let's get started by having the team introduce themselves. Tell us a little bit about your background and like your experience in the real world in crypto, how you guys found each other, how you got this idea of MiNDTOKEN, how you came together, if you worked previously in other projects, things like that, and then we'll go from there.
Excellent. Well, I'll start off. I'm Ed Curvan. I live in Parksville, British Columbia. That's on Vancouver Island in Western Canada. Stefan, my partner, co-founder here, he lives one town over from me in Port Alberni. We're friends in real life. Sorry, my whole family's got a cold, so I'm struggling a little bit there. But so I have been in crypto since around 2017. I haven't ran a project where I own the contract. However, I have moderated in multiple groups. I have a horticultural background. I own a landscaping company here in Parksville. It's been operating for 22 years, so I'm a horticulturalist. I went to Kwantlen Polytech. Stefan and I started working on this project about a year ago, but I think I'll let Stefan do an intro before that. You want to go ahead, Stefan?
I'm Stefan Verum. I actually have my experience in tech is back to pre-2K with what I worked for IBM. I was a project manager there for a few years before I left. Met my ex-wife and spent 10 or 12 years out of the tech area, just working on my relationship with her until I left. During that time, actually, I met Ed. He delivered numerous loads of dirt to me, and he'll always say I tried to undercut him, but I didn't.
Oh, you did. You did.
Sorry. Yeah. And I was working for Cermak, which I'm still working for Cermak. They're a global farming company here on the island. And we built a friendship over probably 8 years that I've been here. And I bugged him for about 4 or 5 to get me into crypto. And after I left my wife and was going through my issues, he kind of took me under his wing crypto-wise, started showing me how to create a wallet and different groups to look at, different things to watch. And I was using LifeWorks personally through my work in my divorce, going through counseling for that. My father passed away 2 weeks after my divorce, so I was using it fairly regularly. LifeWorks actually went over and above what my actual visits would be, just to make sure that I got through it. And I noticed really quickly that there was no place to get this kind of service, A, in the real world without working for a corporation, or B, in the crypto space, which I was just diving into. So that's where Ed and I came up with the idea, and I'll let him go from there. We started the corporation, and here we are.
Yeah, so I also neglected to mention that previous to my time in crypto, I was really big into the torrenting community. I ran Linux Movie Mania, both as a torrent site. It actually didn't fare too well because there was a real shift in how things were operating. But that came from the platform WinMX, and we had the 3rd largest peer-to-peer file sharing group in that space at the time. So, it's very similar to crypto and how everything operates for people who don't know. It's really, really similar. But anyway, so what we did is Stefan and I knew that LifeWorks deals with offering employee assistance benefits packages to 15,000 corporations and 26 million users through those corporations. And we wanted to find a way to bring this utility to the crypto space. And so knowing that we needed LifeWorks to take us really seriously, we actually went out and formed our corporation before we even reached out to them. And so we formed Mental Services, Inc. And then we got into talks with LifeWorks about how we could retain them to bring these services into crypto. We had multiple conversations, and at the end of it, we came to the conclusion that we were able to offer the services if they're tied to something along the lines of staking, because LifeWorks doesn't actually offer these services, or at least the full breadth of services on the public market. And so one of the caveats is that all of the people who utilize these services have to kind of fall under a sort of employee sort of heading. And so as far as LifeWorks is concerned, anybody who uses our staking systems becomes our employees. And so we had our contracts developed and our front end developed and an onboarding system created and retain the services of LifeWorks. These services are already live for us in the background. So they're fully live at launch, including the staking. Right now, we have for the full package, that's legal support, that's telemedicine, that's counseling, including master's accredited psychiatrists, and there's a fitness app, and it's just a whole breadth of services, and I'll screen share it all for you in a little bit if you don't mind. But we brought those services with the full package live in Canada, the United States, and the United Kingdom. However, we can add up to 60 countries for that. The mental health services, however, are global. They're in over 180 countries. If you have an internet connection, you can seek mental health services through our systems. And so we've brought something that is quite different. LifeWorks is a 56-year-old publicly traded company. They had a $700 million Canadian revenue last year. They're currently in sales talks with the telecom and e-health provider TELUS for $2.3 billion. And they were kind enough to take us seriously and allow us to move forward with these systems. They made several changes to their systems so that we were better able to integrate with them. They changed the wording in our contracts a little bit just to suit our needs and keep us safe from their legal departments, as well as they rolled back some of their onboarding code because right now we have kind of a manual onboarding process, but we're able to automate it. And so that's really, really good for us. It'll make our processes really, really smooth and simple. And so, yeah, we brought all of this stuff up, and then we went really slow. It's been a year in the making to get to this stage now. We opened our Telegram a few months ago, and we were just really quiet and low key, looking to bring on really serious long-term investors who really understood what we're aiming to do, and not create one of these scenarios where everybody's just looking to get out at launch. So we were very, very careful in how we retained our community and how we've interacted with them. And it's showing itself now that was a good strategy for us. We haven't used any bots there. We have had no contest. Nobody ever comes into our group and types done and then leaves or shills someone call group or anything like that. It's fully organic. And so we've managed to create a really, really nice community, and I'm super happy with that.
Hold on, I'm guilty. I've gone into our group and written done and then left.
You're fired. You're fired. Yeah. So I don't know. Would you guys like to see the inside of the LifeWorks app, or do you have any questions, or do you want me to carry on a little more first?
Yeah, go ahead. By the way, I beg to differ. I see some people in your Telegram.
I just saw that.
Did somebody just write done in my Telegram as I said that?
Yeah, somebody.
Sent me.
Some host of some group that's hosting an AMA.
/ ban. Okay. Let's share this.
Yeah, go ahead, guys. Go with the presentation. I'm eating.
All right.
Don't mind.
Right on. Right on. So this is what the general public sees when they go to LifeWorks, because again, LifeWorks has 15,000 corporate clients and 26 million users among them. And so this is only accessible if you work for one of those companies or you work through the MiND staking system. And the really cool thing about this is that we are the only portal for entry into this system for the public. There is no other way in unless you go and you start working for Home Depot or Walgreens or Scotiabank or some such. So this is all you're really going to see as the general population looking at the LifeWorks app. And this is why I like to screencast this part, because it shows that we really do have a partnership with LifeWorks, because it's kind of a hard pill to swallow for some people that we would be able to make that partnership with such a massive company at this stage in our growth. And so I just like to prove it to people. So you can see here, MiNDTOKEN, LifeWorks.com. This is our MiNDTOKEN feed inside of the LifeWorks app. We have a live feed in here, and so in time we'll be able to integrate and start working with other communities and putting challenges and things like that out. You can see we've got on our live feed just some mentions of our first partners. We've already got 2 partners that are going live with staking really quickly here. So anyways, the first thing you see here though, on just about every page is this Get Care Now button. And what it is it puts you in touch with an onboarding agent. And so within a couple of minutes of going through the Get Care Now button, you're able to discern where in the system you need to go for help with your particular issue. Because as I say, it's a vast service. There's two main ways that you can go through, and that's, well, three. There's a 1-800 number, and then there's a Microsoft Teams conference calling, and then you have an IRC style chat. And any of those formats will get you into an onboarder. And so what these guys offer is, again, they offer employee assistance benefits packages. They also handle pension funds for a lot of these companies. And you can see here, this is the Canadian 1-800 number. And in a second, this will pop up. They have a lot of users, so sometimes their servers are a wee bit slow. But in a second here, you're going to see a telemedicine window pop up. And through here, you simply click on the link, you follow it through, and you'll wind up talking to a general practitioner very, very quickly, within a few minutes. And what they can do is they can offer a diagnosis of basic maladies. I mean, obviously, you don't go to a telehealth system for a broken limb, you go to a hospital. But they can put you in contact with a specialist. They can send you to a lab for blood work. They can do, again, basic diagnoses. They can set you up with specialists. And the other cool thing, especially if you're in somewhere like the United States where you have pay per visit systems, is that they have a list of doctors in their reserve that work with LifeWorks. And so if you make LifeWorks your first point of contact, and this goes for lawyers as well, it will often come to an in-person referral discount if that doctor feels you need in-person care.
Absolutely. Yeah, see, I used the law services when we were first doing this as well, just in the beginning of the divorce. And I talked to somebody in Vancouver here on Vancouver Island in Nanaimo, and we went through the whole discussion. He offered me a 25% discount on his hourly rate if I chose him. I ended up choosing somebody else because they were more suited for what we were trying to do. But it was there, and it was a great resource. Sorry, Ed.
Oh, it's all good, brother. Yeah, so as I say, we're able to add the full package. That includes the lawyers and the doctors into up to 60 countries. We've got 3 of them live already: Canada, the United States, and the United Kingdom. So, pardon me. The next section would be the Lift Fitness app, and this is a subsidiary company. You can see it will actually leave the site if I click on it, and I don't want to mess up the screen share, but essentially what it is it's a fitness app, and inside of that app, you're able to create custom workout programs. It's got little features like, challenge reminders and exercise reminders and heart rate monitors and so on. But the other really cool thing is that you're able to set some one-on-one time with a professional fitness instructor who is able to take an assessment of where you're at and help create a custom workout routine that is integrated into the app and that program and algorithm. And so it'll actually help guide you through, working through all, and motivate you to work through those steps. And it's really good because, some people are, Olympian level, and other people, need a bit more exercise. And so it's got something a bit for everybody in there. You can see that there are Ukrainian support crisis hotline. There are workshops and group therapies for just about everything under the sun. You've got articles, and on it goes. So the next section, you can see again, family, health, life, money, work. It goes on and on. And so if we go into the well-being section here, they have an assessment system. And what that does is the assessment system will ask you a series of personal questions, and then their systems will identify, based on your answers, where in their systems they feel you would benefit the most from their services, and it will help guide and direct you to those services. But the cool bonus, I think, that comes with that is that as you work up through their tiers, so the more assessments you do, the higher in the tiering you go. And you can see I've got bronze here, and because I had a trial account for months, so I've already worked all through this under a different account. But as you work up through the services, you get access to discounts from some serious brands. And so you can see all these advertisers in here, and these change constantly. Companies are only allowed to advertise through this platform if they have retained the services of LifeWorks. And so every one of these companies in here actually employs LifeWorks either for and including their pension plans or EAP packages. And so you can see, the higher you go up in the tiering, and this is just a small piece of it, it actually expands. There's much more than this, but I try to keep it as simple as I can for the screen share because I've been told I go too long with it. So that's a basic quick rundown of it. I mean, obviously there's a lot to it. I mean, I can really go on for a long time, but the basic gist of it is that we're talking about real doctors with proper legal framework in the country that they're operating in. Lawyers, fitness instructors, you can get financial advice. You can talk to a financial advisor. It's an absolutely massive system.
Accredited psychologists. Yeah.
Accredited psychologists.
The counselors were amazing. I can't speak highly. For my situation, we've had some feedback from good and bad. Actually, it's the one amazing thing since we started the project was 2 months ago. I started going around and when the market really crashed, I started going around and offering out our services for free, and we did have some takers, right? Just people to send me their email address, and we onboarded them, and then lo and behold, a few weeks, a month later, I get a message back from them. Hey, you onboarded me, blah blah blah. This is my story, and some of them just hit me, right? Like some of the stories were just like I'm amazed. Some of these people were able to reach out and had the effort to, because they were in dark places. So it's really good to me that I found that I'm really happy that we're able to touch as many people. I guess that's where I'm going with it.
And from an open market perspective, when you look at what these services cost from other companies in the more public market, the value becomes really apparent here because, our staking system is set up so that a $50 market value stake will get you 1 month subscription to LifeWorks. And at the end of the stake, of course, you get your tokens back plus, your APYs. And when you look at like one company I was talking to or messaging in the United States to get estimates from was asking $170 US for a basic 1 hour talk with a GP. That does not include lawyers. That doesn't include therapy or fitness or any of that stuff. A company in the United Kingdom for 4 therapy sessions in 1 month was over 300 British pounds. The pricing is comparable here in Canada as well. And again, that's not the full breadth of services. These are piecemealed out. And so, that puts us in a really strong niche because we're offering something that not only is hard to find in that full breadth of services, but it's at such an incredibly lower cost barrier. Do you know what I mean? People can access these services for minimal cost. And the other really cool thing is that it's not just the person who stakes, it's also their immediate family. So their spouse, their children, or whoever lives, in their domicile can access these services as well. And so, I think it puts us in a really strong footing to branch out through the crypto space, especially through our partnership program. But in the long run, we have the opportunity to integrate our staking into a fiat onboarding app and bring this to the public market without breaching our contract. And so that will put us in a position where we are literally the only public onboarding into these services. So we're really excited about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Should I keep going or we got questions?
All right. So that was like a lot, a lot to take in. So usually I'd like to break it down step by step after, you guys kind of introduce the project. So my first question is, what is the LifeWorks? So you said you registered a company, right?
Yes.
So LifeWorks is not that company, right? LifeWorks is in the...
No, we registered... We registered Mental Services Inc. It's an incorporated company, and we use that company to contract LifeWorks, to retain our contract with LifeWorks, and go into meetings with them originally.
Yeah. So we did that so they would take us seriously.
So LifeWorks, because since I'm not too familiar with what LifeWorks actually is, so is it like a paid for service subscription? Or
no, it's a corporate based system, and so they have 15,000 corporate members who retain them for employee assistance benefits packages for their employees. So those 15,000 corporations have a total of around 26 million employees, and LifeWorks collects the fees off of all of them and then provides all of these services to those employees. They also manage pension plans for a lot of those companies.
So what are the services again? Can you maybe go over some of them, like some of the services that LifeWorks does? Because from what I see, the purpose of this token is to provide access to LifeWorks? Because like you said, LifeWorks normally
right.
is for corporations, and you're making it so if you hold a token, it's almost like you're an employee of MiNDTOKEN in a way, to where you
Exactly.
have
That's exactly correct.
access.
That's exactly
Okay.
correct. So anybody who stakes in our system, and that includes through partner tokens who will have their own staking pools in our system, will be able to access LifeWorks for telemedicine, for legal advice, for fitness help, and the fitness app, for financial advice, for group therapy workshops, for a massive amount of assessment tools and articles that relate to all different conditions, from PTSD to grieving loss of a child, et cetera, et cetera. And it just goes on and on. But the main gist of it is the the telemedicine, the legal help, the mental support is the primary push here. But there's a lot more to them than that.
Okay. Is LifeWorks, is it almost like, how they have like legal insurance, how you like pay like $20-$30 a month and you get like you said, access to lawyers, free consultations, and up to a certain amount of hours in court.
Yeah.
And this is more for like medical, right? It's not like a health insurance, but it's more of like
It's an addition to.
Yeah.
No, it's an addition to health insurance, I'd call it, because you can access the doctor. You can call a doctor 5 times. So if you have health insurance and you've only got a couple, you're adding to it essentially. I wouldn't go cutting off your health insurance because you have our access.
Yeah.
But it's more for like information, right? It's like information based.
No, the counseling services are real. I was scheduled every 2 weeks, and I had a counselor call me, and we spent an hour talking about the issues I was going through. They're all registered counselors, and their legal location is where you're located. So if you're in the United States, their counselors are all located in and around where you are. Same with the UK, same with in Canada here. So it's actually their actual physical service, like real services, not as much informational. There is a big information side to it on the website.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can actually retain the lawyer that you speak with through LifeWorks.
Yeah.
So you get a few consultations and you get some legal advice. And if your case starts moving forward, you have the opportunity to retain that lawyer. And again, because LifeWorks, even though they're not technically insurance, their economic setup is very much like insurance, right? They have 26 million users. They collect fees based on that user volume, and then they're able to take the excess money to be able to retain all of these services for the, say, 20% that actually utilize them on a regular basis, right? And our systems are set up quite similar to that because, the intention here, like them, is to be a volume play.
And
so normally, normally the corporations,
go ahead.
Normally the corporations, they pay a fee, like you said, to be part of it. But in this case, since you guys are partnering with them, do you have to like pay a certain amount for this?
Oh yeah, we've been paying since January, right out of our pocket here, right here. There you go.
Yeah. So we pay based on how many users per country. Each country, because the cost of lawyers and doctors, et cetera, change from region to region, and so each country has its own cost per user that we have to shell out. And so ironically, Canada is the most expensive one on our roster right now. It costs us a small fortune, to be honest. But again, when you look at the value that's put out there for the end user, and that our systems will cover those costs in the long run, it works out really well for us.
Okay. Yeah, I know Canada, man. I feel like especially with the president, like with a lot of free stuff, like free healthcare or whatever. Someone has to pay for it. There's really nothing that's free, right?
That's right. Yeah, it comes out of our taxes.
Yeah, exactly.
And our wages.
I've owned a small business for 22 years. I've been taxed in ways I'm ashamed to talk about. Yeah.
Okay, so like, how are you guys funding this? Payments, because I see your tokenomics. You see there's sell tax, buy tax. Is it through there?
It's through our staking, and so basically what we have is a roughly, it's in BNB, but a $5 per month staking fee. So if you're in the 1 month pool, you'll pay a $5 staking fee, and that helps cover our overheads. In fact, in time, it should start to show us some profit that we'll be able to move into the buy and burn system.
Okay, awesome. All right, yeah, let's go on. Talk about the tokenomics then. Okay, so like we said, there's taxes of 2%, 2%, 1%, 1%. So a total of 6% for buy and sell. No, for buy.
6% in.
For
Yeah.
buy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For buy, yeah. And selling is higher, so it's what 3, 3, 2,
And 4 for
12,
staking.
12%.
Yeah.
Okay, staking.
And
So
that goes
staking
back into our
only
staking and liquidity. Most of it, the add on the taxes.
Okay, so staking is 1% for buy, 4% for sell.
That's
marketing tax. Okay, so what is the operations? What is the difference between like the operations and like
That-
the staking, and how it you all pay for, basically how you all pay for the services?
The
Operations is our pay.
Yeah.
Stefan and I
That's
each
what we make.
get 1% of transactional volume, and we've got that set up in our contract that it auto converts to a stable so that it's safe and easy.
Okay.
Yeah. So we originally had a 4% and a 4%, and we got into contact with DGEM, and I mean, I'm sure you guys know how OCD Jules is about pre-sale math, and so he tore us apart.
To be polite.
To be polite, he tore us apart, and he came back with some majorly adjusted tokenomics, and he did that. They did that as developer as well, in the interest of longevity for the staking system and making sure that we had good marketing funds post launch. We tried to keep the taxes as low as we possibly could, but then we listened to the good advice that they gave us. I mean, our interactions with Conda Labs and DGEM have been absolutely fantastic. They've had our backs through this whole thing. And they've really helped us along because, Stefan and I, we created this corporation. We did a ton of legwork. We paid for everything out of pocket right up until we brought our social medias on. But I'm not a pre-sale maths expert. And so when they started, having a go at that, I felt really comfortable with what they put together. And, the people who I look to on my end for advice and backup on these things, I have some really well-versed friends in my circle. They agreed with the changes, and so we were really happy with it all.
Okay, yeah, I want to take a look at the token distribution, but where is it? I can't seem to find it. Okay, I see in the website you have the taxes. You have the 10 million supply. What about the actual like the pie chart, like pre-sale, like the pre-sale
That should
math?
be. Now that should be in our white paper here.
Yeah, I don't see it in there. I see the taxes. Okay, private seed sale, 0.25 BNB min, 3 BNB max, 20,000 tokens. Probably the actual like distribution of the supply.
Okay, so we've got a total starting supply of, 15 million tokens. We're sending 3 million tokens into the pre-sale contract. We've got 40% going to liquidity of our raise. We've got, I'm just looking at the notes that I have are a little blurry, and I've got to zoom them in, and the TV's way over there. Pardon me, percentage supply total. So we're looking at a total of a 200 BNB raise. We've got 2% will go to the team, and that will be locked up. We're not looking to create a dump. We've got 1% going to marketing. Am I answering the right question here?
Yeah. Is there actually a graphic of this anywhere?
I can take a screenshot of the pie chart probably.
Can you do that, Stefan? Because I'm juggling around.
Right, I can do that right now.
I don't see it. I don't see it on DGEMs because usually like you would have something like that on the actual pre-sale, and also the white paper. I would actually suggest that you guys still have time to actually.
It was on our white paper, but we just updated our white paper to a new format, and to be honest, it's both of us.
Okay, so
Stefan, I'll get you a screenshot for that though.
Okay, yeah, because I'm just kind of curious. I mean, or you could just meanwhile while he's getting it, you could like continue explaining it. So like 2% for team. I just want to kind of know like basically the pre-sale math. Like, what's the percentage is going to pre-sale? If there's any kind of lock tokens, unlock tokens, things like that.
Okay, well, there'll definitely be some tokens in the staking system. Give me a second here. Shift and zoom in.
So I'll drop the tokenomics here in the and the chart in the chat.
Yeah, so we've got 15.56% being set aside for our staking systems. 1% goes to advisors. We've got we're going to be burning 2.25 million tokens after launch. We've got 10% of the supply being paired to liquidity, with 40% of the 200 BNB going to the LP. Yeah, have you got that done there, Stefan? Because I'm digging through stuff right now.
I'm sending it to Boria right now.
Okay,
right,
cool. Yeah, I'll
that.
forward that.
It's in your. Yeah, that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
That should have been easy. My apologies. We'll get that jammed into our white paper.
It's kind of blurry though. Can you send it to me without the?
That's the problem I was having too.
Yeah, that's the only copy I have available until we drop it into the thing.
Okay.
I can't send you the whole.
Well, when you send an image though, you could do it on. Don't check the box that says compressed. That might help.
Maybe, yeah.
Let me see. Yeah, I think it's a little bit better. So I'll forward this.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, let's take a look. All right. So total supply 15 million. Tokens sales 26%, right? Team 2%. Marketing 1%. Staking 15. No tokens for CEX. Advisors 1%. Utility that 2%. Burn 15. Liquidity 10. Okay. So Gempad was actually okay with only 40% to liquidity, because that's actually fairly low.
This is DGEM, but
I mean DGEM, which is Gempad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, DGEM where we came up with those numbers.
Yeah, because normally, like standard, rule of thumb is 60 to 70% of.
That was where we originally had it. We had it at 70%, and they dropped it down on us. And I think it has to do with the burn we do right after right at launch.
And we also increased our liquidity tax dramatically at the same time, because we were only looking at a 1% liquidity tax before on buy and sell, and now we're
3%,
1 and 3,
4%.
1 and 3, 4% round trip.
Okay, so maybe the game they're trying to play is lower liquidity percent means a higher or easier chance of getting multiple X's, because with the lower amount of BNB going into liquidity, like a liquidity pool is smaller, it's gonna basically require less buy pressure for like say 10x or 5x or price to go up.
We also kept our ask really low, right? I mean, if you look, we had a 50 BNB seed sale, and then we've got a 200 BNB public sale, pardon me. And, I mean, part of our issue was making sure that we had funds to market post-launch as well, and to keep kind of the ball rolling, right? So, that's a lot of the reason we wound up at this decision. We talked before that about raising the ask, and there was a lot of resistance from me and Stefan on that, because, we'd far rather see the buy pressure than have a whole bunch of people, selling down because they can. So, that's just how we came to these decisions.
Yeah, and I know Jules did structure it to generate X's for that reason, like just so that there's not everybody's going to be wanting AR services. There are people that are just going to buy and sell.
Yeah.
Okay, I did the math, and actually I think 30% is missing from the tokenomics. About 30% from the chart. If you add up all the percentages, like 26.67. 2%, 1%, 15.
Did you send him one document or two, Stefan? Because there's
no, I sent it in the one just the tokenomics with the.
Send him the second one.
Well, yeah. I didn't send him that whole document. I just sent him the clip it of the
Oh, I see.
tokenomics.
Yeah, because
it says it equals up to 100%. I don't know where.
it just seemed like it wasn't adding up in my head. So then I did it on Excel, and it's
Yeah,
about
'cause
30% off.
do you have the burn and the liquidity and the utility?
Burn is 15, right? Liquidity's 10.
Yeah.
Utility is what? Is that 2 or 2%?
Yeah. Advisors 1.
Yeah, like because here's what I did. I have a 26.67. Is that what the number is? That's for tokens. Yeah. Okay, I had 26.67 plus 2 plus 1 plus 15. I didn't really see the number, so I just put 15. Just kind of get a ballpark.
15.66.
0.66 plus 1 plus 2 plus 15 plus 10.
Yeah.
And that adds up to 73.
Let me see something here.
We're missing. It's there.
It's here.
Yeah, there's about like 20 something percentage. 20%.
It's there. We just have to. It's not hidden. It's just not in there.
It's not hidden. No. Okay. So team marketing stake. Oh, okay. So here. Is this what we're missing? Oh, I can't send media.
No.
I will.
Let me allow it. You can just send it to me then.
I'll just send it to you.
Is it like maybe like an updated one?
Yeah, I'm pulling it out of our private group with DGEM here. So
okay,
we had a couple of these.
All right, let's see here.
Where is our DGEM rep? There's nobody here today from DGEM.
Yeah, where's Jules? Get in here, Jules.
Can you send it the same way without
just
without
as a key, yeah.
press?
Okay. There we go. Hopefully that's got what you're missing there.
Oh, why is this so small? Let me see if I can zoom in. Okay.
Because they're protective of their program.
Okay, so this one is actually completely different than the other one.
I took that out of the list. I took ours out of what we sent to our dev today when we were doing the token stuff.
Okay, this one. Okay, development, marketing, team. Where's the percentage for? See, that one doesn't make sense either. Where's the pre-sale one percentage?
Here, I'll show you.
It's like development, marketing, team, other fees, and liquidity, but there's nothing for pre-sale.
Pre-sale percentage is where?
I think this is just distribution of funds from the tokens that are not part of pre-sale.
All right, let's get this.
Yeah, like funds for liquidity, amount of tokens.
I'm looking.
Yeah, because the 40% liquidity is supposed to be 40% of the actual pre-sale amount, not of the total tokens. I think this is just the distribution of funds from the amount raised, like $23,000 or total of $58,000. I think that's just part of the actual the distribution of funds from pre-sale, not from the actual token percentage, the whole token distribution. Yeah, but
we're calling in the DGEM guys to back us up here because it's.
Yeah, because I mean, you see what I'm seeing though, right? The tokenomics part that's about 30% that's missing. But if you look at your chart on the left side, the pie chart, that one should add up to 100, but I just can't really. It's kind of blurry. So yeah, I don't know where the 30% missing.
Do we have burn in there? Yeah, we got burn in there. 20. Yeah, 20.
Yeah, burn says 15.
So I've got liquidity of 13.6%, burn of 20.5%, utility of 2.7, advisors 1.4. Staking 21.4, marketing 1.4, team 2.7, and then 36.4 for token sales.
Oh, it seems like everything's multiplied by like 1.3 or something versus like the previous numbers. Maybe that's what it was. Because the numbers you said is like higher than, like the liquidity. What would you say it was, like 12 or something percent? 12, 13?
Yeah, it's 13.6. That's what's on the pie chart.
Equal 13.6 divided by 10. So what? It's a factor of 1.36. So if you do 73.33 times 1.36, that adds up to 100. Yeah. So it seems like all these things, the percentages have to be multiplied by 1.36 to get the correct amount.
Yeah, guys, remember that we did they made that adjustment about 2 weeks ago. They reran everything when we ended up at the 0.016 instead of 0.2, and I think that's what's happened here. You might have ended up sending them that older original one. I might have it. I might have found the newer one myself. So give me a second. I'm going to see.
Yeah, as long as the ratios are the same,
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, token sales 26 burn. So how's the burn going to happen? Is it going to just after launch you're going to have the tokens set aside, the 15% tokens, and you're going to burn that just direct it to the burn wallet?
That's
Yes, sir.
right.
Yep.
Okay, okay. So the staking, how will the staking work? How will that be paid out? What's the APY or APR? Is it going to be based on how many staking? What's the maximum? Let's say, what's the minimum?
Okay.
Do you guys have numbers for that?
Yep. So we have a minimum stake on the 1 month pool of a $50 market value. Again, there's a $5 per month fee for staking. So if you're in the 12-month pool, you'd pay a $60 fee. So in the 1 month pool, you're looking at a 25% APY. We kept that pretty small because most of the people who use that are just there to get the services. Our higher pool is going to be the 12-month pool. We also have a 6-month pool. The 12-month pool will have 150% APY, and again, a $60 onboarding fee, because what happens is that once a person stakes, our onboarding window opens up. The user inputs an email, which gets forwarded to MiNDTOKEN, put into a CSV file, and then forwarded to LifeWorks. And then within roughly an hour, as long as we're awake at the time, they'll get an onboarding email from LifeWorks.
I'm working right now on the batch file too, so it'll be a yeah. I wake up and I hit send and it does it. I don't even look at anything anymore at this point.
So all those pools basically means they'll be locked, right? So if you do a 30-day pool, 60-day pool, you can't do early withdrawal.
You can, but you're going to be penalized for it. So we've got a 20% penalization on it, and the reason for that is that if one of our contractual agreements with LifeWorks is that we're not actually selling LifeWorks access. We're offering it to people who are in our community. And so even though it's not a direct breach of contract, if somebody started scalping these services and selling them on the open market, it could land us at least with some scrutiny on us.
Yeah.
And so we just did that to mitigate the issue where people are trying to sell it on the open market. We can also remove them if we find that people are doing something shady and we're alerted to it, but it might be a little bit tricky for us to track, and so we put that penalty in there to cover that.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, the tokenomics, honestly, it's not really, no major issues, of course, because that's to be expected, because DGEMs did help you guys out. I still think the liquidity is fairly low, but it also means more X's, but at the same time, it means if there's sell pressure, then it's going to drop the price quicker too. But you guys do have the liquidity tax of 3% for sells, 1% for buys. That should help with that. And,
I mean, the goal is to get people into our staking systems. Obviously, we want people to lock things up. And the other thing that I would consider here is that we've retained a really organic community. I mean, I haven't had a single person in our seed sale who's been sitting there for months say, "Oh my God, when is this happening?" The people that have gotten behind us really have gotten behind us. They've been instrumental in all the connections that we've made. We've had all sorts of free publicity offers through their connections and everything else, and so I really feel like we have a really solid backing of people behind us, and so I'm not actually overly worried about a huge amount of dump pressure. I mean, every project is going to have its rise and then it's going to find its floor, but I don't see us getting tanked on this. Our community is just fantastic, and they're organic and real, and they're pretty whaley too, so I'm pretty comfortable.
All right, awesome. And since you guys did send the other one with the distribution of funds, we could go over that too. So this percentage or the 58,000, that's based just on whatever the value of BNB was, right? So that's kind of plus and minus.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Okay,
that
so
would, yeah.
okay, so 40% is liquidity. 8,000 or 15% is going to other fees. Team is 5%. Marketing is 34%, and development is 6%. So normally, like we were saying, like the rule of thumb is 60% liquidity, but in this case it's 40% because a big portion of it is going into marketing. So you guys all this 19,000, 20,000, that will be used for marketing post launch, right? Plus all the taxes, of course, for marketing.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what else. Okay, so yeah, everything looks fine. Like liquidity, I feel like the liquidity is remains to be seen, but I feel that's kind of like the weak spot in a way.
Okay.
I mean, the tax should help, especially this volume. Like the more volume you have, the more tax you get, so the liquidity will help. But like a lot of devs or investors, like, because liquidity at the end of the day, right? The value of the project, it's not the market cap, it's the liquidity.
Yeah.
Because if I have $10 million worth of tokens, but there's only 100,000 in liquidity, like it doesn't matter what it says on paper how much I have, because I could only sell 100,000, worth. And if I do sell all my tokens, I'm only gonna get 100,000 out of it, right? So that's why liquidity is important, but of course it's like a double-edged sword too. Like it prevents dumps, but it also, if the liquidity is huge, it's harder to pump also. And in this space, if you don't pump or investors get bored and they sell, and then you lose investors, then you have to figure out how to get new investors. So I mean, it's a cool thing to experiment and figure out what's the best, what the sweet spot is. And, it might be fine. I think 40% would probably be okay, especially since you guys have all the utilities and everything too. It's not just going to some like stupid use case or whatever, So
That's right. Yeah, no, we made sure early, like when we started the corporation and got through the idea and found out what our costs were going to be for 500 users monthly. We made sure that we had that we were able to cover our costs for a year, 2 years, to make sure that even if this didn't go tomorrow, if it was really slow and an up and down thing, that we had the services there for the people. And that's the biggest thing is, and so knowing that we have everything paid for, we don't mind growing slowly.
Yeah. And then, the other thing too is that, for instance, we've already got 2 confirmed partners for our staking systems in Izanagi and in Snafu. And we've got multiple people in the wings, just kind of waiting to see things go live before they, fully commit. But the potential for networking and cross-promotional exposure in this project, in my opinion, is massive. I mean, if we start getting partners with groups of, with tokens that have, 10,000 holders plus, the exposure for us is going to be massive. And we'll also be generating some of that income from the excesses that we retain through staking fees and early withdrawal penalties. And so, I think that we are, even though we're starting at kind of a small place, it is a little bit intentional to be starting at a small place. We didn't want to have this big chaotic thing that was hard to manage. We wanted to be able to build up. And so, I really think that we're going to be retaining some really decent partnerships and being able to continually cross-promote. I mean, we've already done several cross-promotional AMAs with other groups and just sharing that marketing back and forth and that networking, and it's been really positive. So,
and at this point, we're weeks away from being able to even come to a project or to a community like yours and say, hey, here's our 2 NFTs. This one, it onboards all your team and staff for the year, and this other NFT, your members can buy, and they get 3 months access every time they renew it, right?
Yeah.
So
that's a strategy for partnering with groups like yours, like Anti-Ruggers, is tying that utility to NFTs. We've dubbed groups like these non-token groups, and we still want to be able to partner with just about anybody in the space who's legitimate. And so what we're doing is we're tying that utility to the NFTs so that we can make agreements with groups like yours and start to bring that utility and exposure out into communities like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, awesome. So let me ask you guys. We might have talked about this earlier on. So this is like a registered company, right? So what is your actual purpose? Do you want to be like a CEO and you want to have a company that will help, like basically like it's a token, right? Because you could do this also outside crypto, like some of these things. Maybe not. Right.
We want to run this company for as long as possible. I'm not going to give away too much information, but on the business side of it, a very, very, very large corporation is, well, I think Ed's even spoken to other. TELUS is buying LifeWorks. TELUS is one of Canada's largest communication providers, and they've been doing a big push in mental health awareness on their on their TV station, like on TV, on their mobile apps, on their mobile devices, everything. One of the things about them purchasing LifeWorks and me working for them previously through IBM is I know they're not a player that comes in and crushes companies. They like to partner with companies. So we're working towards a direction where we will hopefully, based on the conversations we've been having up till now with LifeWorks, let go a portion of our company to TELUS and continue running it for them.
That's usually how they operate. I mean, we have the ability to go to an IPO if that's something we want to do. We can become publicly traded. As I said before, we have the opportunity, if we choose to create a fiat to auto staking app whereby the general public would be able to, access these services. And that would make us literally the only public access to services like these, at least with the full scale. Like I say, there are piecemeal companies that do aspects of these in an e-health or an e-legal scenario, but there's nothing quite like LifeWorks that offers this whole package all in one shot, and especially at the price point that we're able to get it at. So it puts us in a pretty strong niche, and that's one of the reasons we were so quiet until we opened our socials, is that we didn't want somebody with a bigger bank account to front run the hell out of us. And at the
end of the day, we are the CEO and CFO of the company. It's fully registered, legit. If we did get sued, if something happened, if we didn't pay our bill at LifeWorks, and they came to me, I've signed a contract with them that I'm accountable for like $250,000 at the end of the day if this fails. So my goal isn't to let this fail, and our goal is not to have it run away, because I've already seen that I've got feedback back from over 15 people of the 50 people that we've given out services for free that we're really helping them, and we haven't even launched yet. So as soon as we launch and we have that ability to hit a lot more people, I'm excited, man.
Awesome, guys. So
I'm gonna DM you the business registry search so that you can see our corporation for ourselves.
Yeah,
and I'm sure, since you guys, it's not just a crypto project, it's in the healthcare, in the real world. You will probably have an easier time, with marketing, like outside of crypto type marketing, Facebook, Google ads. So do you have any plans for this? Like, what's the plan?
We have a Facebook. We have Facebook. We have every social out there now, and I've been slowly putting our name out there. I didn't want to look ruggy, look like a scammer, dropping our name out every 15 minutes saying, hey, look at us. So once every day, once every few days, I'll be hitting each social and making sure we just get our name's getting out there, and over time we'll be growing that more.
A good example of what we're able to do is something that we've already recently done, and this is on a small scale, but we'll be able to do bigger stuff later on. So if you look at, we recently sponsored a young man called Mitch Buxton, and he's a mental health nurse here on Vancouver Island. He teaches nursing at a local university. He also works at a mental rehabilitation center for people who are just on their way back into society. And what he did is he rode his bike from Vancouver to Toronto. That's 4,800 kilometers. And he did that sanctioned by the Canadian Mental Health Association, and managed to raise just over $12,000 for the CMHA. And so we were able to make a small donation. Again, this is out of pocket. But we put our deckling on his car, on his chase car, because of course he had a car following him with all his supplies. And he rode his bike with our signage all the way from Vancouver to Toronto, and he got some pretty decent attention for it, and people were clicking the QR on and everything else. And so you know, the nice thing, especially when we get into the charitable NFT sections of our systems, is that we're able to interact with any registered legitimate charity or NGO because we have that corporation. You know, I mean, we've got a corporate Coinbase account as well. And so we're able to reach into places that other cryptos might have a hard time reaching into. I mean, I was working with a project once that did animal charity, and they had an agreement or a partnership with a wildlife sanctuary, and everything was great. We guided them through making a crypto wallet. You know, they made their Coinbase account so they could offload. We made some donations, and then a board member saw that the company was involved in crypto and just blew the whistle and absolutely shut everything down. And it really did damage to this project. It murdered the project. And so, you know, that is something that wouldn't have happened had those donations come through a corporation. And so, you know, I really feel like we've got that ability to reach into these spaces without
and we'll emphasize,
being
just
in trouble.
for your sake, we're not a charity token. It's that the charitable aspects are coming from a different idea that, like Ed said, doesn't rely on any of the token or the tokenomics. It's something we're building on.
All right, cool. So we actually had a question in the chat. So this is like a real business, right? It's like and the crypto part of it is just like part of it. That's how you get access to you know, to the
LifeWorks.
LifeWorks.
Yep.
LifeWorks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Zoom asked, when a bigger company buys them out and they decide to cut, you've seen that question, right? And they decide
I've seen the question.
What will happen to investors?
Well, for starters, I mean, if TELUS were to buy LifeWorks, we would probably be washed out of the retail market because that would be something that they're gunning for. And so we'd probably still be pretty heavily into the crypto side of things. The other, you know, the goal would be that people who buy into our systems would be doing it through a fiat to auto staking system. So they'd still be buying into the system. They'd still be buying tokens and getting those APYs, and they'd still be paying those staking fees whose excesses will go back into the buy and burn system.
There's a bigger picture where I don't really want to talk about in play, but this is a direction that some of these very large companies that are purchasing companies like this, I guess I'll say, are going in. And it's companies like ours that I'm finding out that they're looking at to kind of structure what they're doing. If without saying too much, that's kind of where I'd see us going.
All right, awesome. So I do like what you guys are doing with I feel like it could really blow up with marketing, right? Because like I said, like crypto marketing is way overpriced. It's expensive, like Bluecoin ads. And if you could actually market a product, like a real product or a service that's not even crypto related, but it's part of the ecosystem, then it could be a lot easier to bring in new investors into this space and into your project. So, you know, having an actual use case that's not necessarily crypto, that's one way to really blow the project up. So, since I know Conda Labs, you know, with the partnerships, they're helping you guys with marketing. What kind of plans, let's say, would you have? Let's say we do the pre-sale, we do the launch for, like, say the first milestone, let's say 5x, 10x, 100x. Like, what are you guys thinking was going to be happening? Like, because, you know, as investors, we kind of want to, you know, kind of get a good picture, because we want to see in the next
I would just say that we're scalable and Xable. I'm not going to make a price prediction and say, it's 1,000x coming, boys. You know, but I mean, as I say, you know, it's let's put it this way. Stefan and I have been working on this for a year solid. We are so personally, not only financially, but emotionally invested. We've made some amazing connections, you know, over the last few months, and you know, Conda Labs and DGEM have been absolutely solid to work with. They've had our best interests at hearts, and it's obvious. And you know, again, our partnership systems where other projects are able to come on and they're able to set up their own pools with their own APYs and offer this utility to their teams and to their communities, as well as have the added benefit of that cross exposure between all the other communities on our platforms, and the ability for us to cross promote and have AMAs in one group and in the other, and kind of work together on you know, different possible charity elements that bring some good attention to us as well. You know, I really believe that we're a massively scalable project. I believe it with all my heart. it's, you know, and again, you know, we didn't want to start off, you know, I believe that we could, with the right marketing and the right push, we could raise 600 or 1,000 BNB, and we could do the whole, you know, giant liquidity pool and everything else. But we didn't want to have something that was unmanageable. We want to be able to build up from the ground and move forward. And so that was what we really aimed for. And we also wanted it to be very clear to people when they looked at our tokenomics and they looked at our ask. I mean, how many of these charity or so-called do-gooder projects are basically just a transfer of wealth from their users to the dev team? We wanted it to be glaringly obvious that this is not a cash grab, that this is something that we're incentivized to work towards. You know, if you look at like 1% each of the volume is our pay. Stefan and I aren't going to be millionaires next week. You know, we're going to get a small payday and then we're going to keep plugging away. And so, you know, I think that speaks volumes about our intentions in this project, is that, you know, we are not set up as a cash grab. We're not asking unreasonable raise. You know, we talked about going to 250, and even I hesitated at that. I really wanted to keep this small and just start off from a good place with a good, healthy, organic community. And I feel like we've achieved that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I like it because, yeah, like a good project. A lot of times, you know, they could go with, like, let's say 200 BNB or 1,000 BNB, and they might even be able to raise 1,000. But you know, the more that you're raising, the higher the liquidity pool, the worse it is for early investors. So I feel like you want to find a good line between you get what you need and you still want to make investors excited, because the guys that are believing in you from the beginning, that are, you know, investing at pre-sale, if they're up, they're more more likely to hold, right? If they're like up from pre-sale, say 5x, 10x, whatever it is, and they're more likely to hold, more likely to promote it for you, like promoting their bags, not dump, and might even forget about it like for 3 months and come back, you know, look at the chart later on. But if it goes below pre-sale because, let's say, you raise too much or it's a fair launch and then everyone starts flooding, then it's a big hole to dig out of. A lot of projects just fail just because of that alone, because they just can't get out of the hole, because after the flood starts, and then it causes a snowball and more people sell, and then after that you can't even market that chart anymore, and everyone's gonna be like, what the hell happened here? Like, why should I buy in now? You know, it's not like it's a, you know, crypto's not like at least BSC and a DGen or DeFi space. It's not like a stock market where, you know, you DCA down. If you DCA down in this space, most likely you're gonna get wrecked.
Yeah.
Because it's going more often than not, it's going to zero, right? Versus like stock like Apple, AMC, or whatever, where you buy the dips, you DCA down, and, you know, 3 weeks later it goes back up.
Yeah, I'm getting my ass handed to be on Coinbase stock right now, so I'm with you there. I'm DCAing hard.
I gotta start DCAing that one now. Thanks for telling me. I should start DCAing right now. Okay, awesome, guys. All right.
We can go over some of the marketing stuff for you if you want to.
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Use your phone, Stefan.
Conda Labs is working with these guys
that I don't work for.
We're working with these guys to do their pre-sale and post-launch marketing. For the pre-sale marketing, we actually came up with a really innovative, kind of unique approach. Something that I think was inspired by the work that Stefan and Ed had already done to organically contact investors, contact other projects and partners. So what we came up with was a super PAC of sorts of call lounges and callers that we already had experience with, and we knew that they had like serious long-term investors, like the kind of investors you want in a project inside their groups. And of course, Anti-Ruggers is one of those. And so we put that together, and then we basically made it so that everyone was incentivized to, you know, take a really unique, hands-on, personalized approach to marketing their project for the pre-sale, to not just do a one-and-done AMA or a one-and-done post, but instead to, you know, repeatedly talk about it, bring it to their community, talk to their communities about it, talk to their own friends, and inside their own private groups. And it's actually worked out extremely well. It turns out we definitely made the right move, because when I checked yesterday, we were already at 150 BNB pledges on their whitelist, and I have a feeling today we're probably already hitting the hard cap. So, Yeah, we're exclusively, since you guys are one of the groups, I did drop that form in here. Your community can use it to secure their whitelist, and I would suggest to go ahead and do it. If you're interested, go ahead and do it now, because we will have to call the thing at a little bit over sub to make sure that everybody gets their allocations. So
yeah, I would actually recommend to go slightly over, or see, like,
Yeah.
the thing is, it's a little bit
Yeah.
different. The way you guys are doing it is slightly different than like just a regular generic whitelist, because
Right.
the numbers for whitelists generally are about 25% will contribute, or the average amount. Basically, let's say you want to raise 1,000 BNB and like 2 BNB max contributions, which is like 500 whitelist spots at max. You normally need maybe like 4 times to 6 times that amount, because most people will not contribute, or they'll do like a minimum, or half. So the math normally works out to, I think, like 6 to 8 times, depending on the quality of whitelist spots.
Mhm.
But in this
Yeah.
case, since we're doing it differently with the form, so I think it's more serious. It's more people that are filling the form have a higher chance of actually contributing what they say they will.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
do
for
think
sure,
it's going
man.
to be a lot closer.
Yeah, I think we'll probably go about a 30% over sub on it, and it 100% is like what you said. It's because we know the quality of the investors that we've had come into this. I mean, it's definitely not your 2x and out crowd, or your. Although I know you like those people, Boria, and it's not
Well, we
like
want
the
those
contest.
people to come and go too.
Yeah,
I'm one of those
it's not-
people. I'm 2x that
Right.
guy.
Remind me to blacklist your wallet. But if it's not like contest hunters and stuff like that. I mean, we could have easily blown their TG up to 5,000 people, no problem. With everybody going in like you did, saying so and so sent me. But instead, we've taken a completely organic approach to it, and I mean, it shows. Like, everybody in that Telegram group is a really solid. They know the project, they did their research, and they're investing for a reason. So it's actually been like a real pleasure as a marketing team to work with these guys and do it this way. It's been awesome.
Yeah, 100%. And not only are they wanting to invest, like, they're really looking for our services. Like, half of the people, like, yeah, I want a whitelist, but they're also like, hey, can you sign me up for the services? Like, how do I get the services? So it really shows that this project has a real utility that's needed in this space.
Yeah, for sure. And then, yeah, post-launch, we, you mentioned that they have so much possibility to do real world marketing, and we're definitely going to be getting all over that. But I think too, like, there is just a tremendous room for them to grow inside of crypto because of these partnerships with other tokens. And I know they've mentioned that, but being able to make a partnership with another project, and if that project has 1,000, 2,000, 10,000, 20,000 holders, I mean, that's instantly exposing their entire holder base to the MiNDTOKEN. And the fact that their staking program, I don't know if you caught it, Boria, but you can stake your own project's tokens to access their services. You don't have to stake MiNDTOKEN. So it's really tremendous value that they can bring to a project. And I mean, they can actually bring a staking utility to a project that doesn't even have staking. So the very, very first thing we're going to do for sure is really streamline and focus on that partnership, the process of, they already have a pitch deck for it. We're going to have a form for it. We're going to do a referral program for it, and make sure to start like really pushing hard on that. In addition, of course, to just doing all the normal chart health type marketing that needs to be done.
And partner retention bounties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Zoom was asking, can you repeat the part about staking your project part, like more info? I guess about the staking.
Okay, so what we have, we're talking about partner staking, I assume, because that was the last context.
I can share the after effect of the staking in the link. I can actually post that because it's a GIF. The onboarding side of it, if you want to explain the other part.
So what we have set up is that other projects can come on board, and for roughly a quarter or less of the cost of what it would cost them to develop and deploy staking contract, to host, to create and build the front end and all that, and etc. they're able to set their own APY pools. They're able to choose between different pools, and their users will be able to stake that project's native token and receive APY set by the project lead and have that LifeWorks utility attached to it. Another added benefit, of course, will be that their moderator staff and teams will automatically be uploaded as part of that package. And we get a little bit of money from the onboarding fee that we can send into the system to buy and burn. So every time we bring on a new project, we'll have a buy and burn party. And, you know, over time, as those users stake and we collect those fees, and as soon as those are in excess of what our overheads are, then we'll have a little bit more that we can throw back into the systems as well. And so, yeah, I'm hoping I'm answering his question correctly.
Okay, yeah. He also asked, who will pay for this APY, the tax from the partner project or MiNDTOKEN?
The partnered project, they set their own pools and their own APYs. They provide their own tokens for that. And so they're not staking for MiNDTOKEN. So Izanagi users, you know, their staking is going live really fast here. Izanagi users will be able to stake Izanagi and receive Izanagi APYs based on what the Izanagi team decides to set those APYs at. But once they're staked, our onboarding portal will open up that I think Stefan may have shared in the chat here that gives them access to the LifeWorks system.
Yeah, so just up a little bit. Essentially, after you stake, you get a pop-up window. You put your email address in there, you hit OK, and we get it and onboard LifeWorks. I send it to LifeWorks, and you get an email within. It'd be within an hour. I've been really quick right up till now. And I've been hammered with a good number of requests sometimes from Ed. He's hit me with a few, one after another while I've been working.
And yes, I know there are 3 typos in that onboarding thing. I brought it to our front end developer's attention, and he said, I plunk code. There will always be typos. Give me new text. So he'll have new text for that when it's live.
Yeah.
He got his I's and his E's backwards on receive twice. Somebody OCD'd about it.
Any more questions? It seems like Zoom, he has a lot of questions, but apparently he can't be in voice chat. I think his girlfriend's beating his ass.
Oh no.
Poor guy.
Well, DM us an email address and we'll get you some therapy, bro.
Yeah, absolutely, therapy. Yeah. Free.
Yeah, I think Zoom will be one of the main users of your guys' platform.
Yeah, I'll onboard you today, buddy. I liked your music when we came in.
I guess his girlfriend's in here. Say hello. Hi, Zoom's girlfriend.
How you doing?
Now he's really getting his ass beat.
Yeah, now sorry, man.
Awesome. All right, guys, any more questions? Oh yeah, by the way, how do we make money on this? Please don't honey product. Please do not, because I'm sorry, guys. We guys are we're kind of a little bit distracted of the guys in here because there's a project that just launched, and it's been like some drama going on, and we had an AMA with them like last week or so, and they basically, I don't know, like look at the chart. That's why I'm not gonna mention it, but just take a look at the chart, and this is something not to do. Please learn from this, so make sure this doesn't happen when you.
We've been watching you specifically for months and months and months to learn what not to do, because we've watched you call out so many people. You've had some amazingly spicy AMAs.
Very spicy.
I love them.
Spicy. That's why when you started digging in, and I didn't have the exact answer at my disposal.
I was freaking. I'll be honest.
Oh, shit.
I'm like, it's there. There's no 30% missing, man.
This is over this 1,000 freaking times, but. Yeah,
it's like, where's the damn distribution? By the way, I do recommend you guys to add that into the website and also.
Totally, yeah. I'm working on the website tomorrow and doing a whole bunch of updates actually with our KYC. We're KYC'd with Anonymous. We're also KYC'd with Seek. We've got our audit back from Safetin. I've got to put all that up on the webpage, and I'm doing that tomorrow. I just had my kids today, so I'm kind of trying to eat balance time.
Yeah, and we showed up 3 hours early for the AMA, so
Yeah.
That's actually like that's actually a really good green flag for us. I'm like, man, these guys are early, and then you guys sat through. I think I seen one of you at least in the previous
Oh, yeah.
AMA.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I was there for almost all of it.
I have wanted to come here ever since the day that we did an AMA with Brian.
The coin launch, yeah.
With coin launch, and then we came over here, and you guys were just dragging some scam group, and I said, no, I'm gonna go there. I want to go survive that, because I know you guys get real spicy, as Stefan said.
It might have been the Charonverse, or
I don't remember. It was so freaking cringy.
You know, you guys had it set up, and
they had a script.
You kept calling them scammers and calling them and expecting them to walk away, but they didn't. They just sat there and kept trying to tell you, no, we're real, until eventually she walked away.
Yeah, it was that one. So basically, I have an update to that one. I have an update to that one.
Okay.
Well, I know we could talk about it after AMA, or I could say it now, but let's just chat after this AMA, because I have a pretty spicy update about that one.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
I want to hear that for sure.
You had me glued.
Oh yeah, I haven't laughed that hard in a long time, man. I just hope that none of those poor slaves were murdered.
Anyways, guys, so it's all good. So everyone that's in here, please join their group, and if you're gonna participate, I do feel like this is one of those rare projects that, you know, like we get along. I mean, we get along with most devs, but one of those rare projects that we could actually, you know, trust, or there's a very high level of trust, you know, versus like the average type of project. And there's a lot of potential for marketing, a lot of potential for, you know, blowing this up, especially with the real world use cases. And that's kind of like the kind of project that you want in this space, right? You want something that you could see blowing up, because it's not just some gimmick; it's an actual company, and they have a lot of things they could you know, deliver on, or they could do, not just some play to earn game that no one's gonna play. You know, that's some crack garbage, or some Fiverr guy made it in 2 days, but an actual real product that will help people out, and you know, you could definitely make revenue off of that too. So that's another thing. Is there any outside revenue sources that can, or is this going to be mainly just you hold the token, you stick the token, you get the services, but like there's no other revenue, because you need to basically, your payment is staking, or the users are in a way paying for the service by staking the token, right?
That's correct. Yes, it is set up financially much like an insurance system, even though it is not insurance. But you know, like you were saying, a lot of projects, they start with a gimmick and then look for a purpose. We started with the purpose, and now we got to find some gimmicks, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? Just to entertain people and move things along and make it fun. So
we have some good ideas. We have some things in process. We can't talk about too much, because they're not hard to put together, but they're really unique. So that's where I'll leave it at that. I get in trouble for saying too much.
I will kill you. But yeah, so I mean, like I say, it's you know, I really believe that we've got a strong future here. We've got a real niche in the market. We have access to something that nobody else has been able to put out there, and we've managed to do it with the largest global e-health provider. The other cool thing is, though, is that there is no competition clause in our contract. And so, you know, if we find that there are certain aspects that we're not able to cover through LifeWorks, there's nothing to stop us from bringing on other providers in other jurisdictions with other kind of MOs. You know, so for instance, I won't go into great detail because it's kind of personal to the user, but we had one user who had some issues with, you know, cognitive behavioral therapy, which is, you know, the gold standard in the space right now. But, and I did read a few PubMed documents that backed up what this person was saying, that truly wasn't the best form of therapy for that person's particular situation. And so since then, I've started looking at other e-providers, because I know that that's the first one of a few that are going to come along. Now, it's not a large segment of our group, but it's still a service that we can provide. And so, you know, I'm reaching out already to some, you know, more independent e-health companies to see what I can come up with to fill that need. But what I'm driving at is that, you know, we have the ability to bring the full scale of services to 60 countries. And so we would look to target market them one by one as we go. So for instance, we get a high rate of Turkish users in our group. And right now, Turkey is in an inflationary crisis. You know, their money has gone to shit. But they have a high crypto user adoption rate, and we have a high demographic in our group. So obviously, we're going to want to go to Turkey pretty soon after launch, right? I mean, it's pretty obvious for us to go to Commonwealth countries and to English-speaking countries because we can easily communicate with them. But the demographics say that we do need to move this service to Turkey. It's just everywhere I turn, I see Turkey, and so. You know, if we find that LifeWorks can't provide everything we need in that jurisdiction or in any jurisdiction, because, you know, like I say, there's 60 countries, then we can start reaching out to other providers and trying to fill that need in that way. So, like I say, we're scalable not only from an inside of crypto perspective, but we're also scalable in the real world. I really believe that being the only public access to a service of that scale is just a huge niche for us. And again, I've got to come back to the price points of the public market, of the open market. You know, if you were to pay for all of the services that are offered in a 1 month stake for $50 in the open market, you'd be paying well over $1,000 in 1 month. You can stake less to that and get those services for an entire year. So the utility is not only real, it is hack and slash pricing. I mean, it's really cost effective. There is a low barrier to entry for these services to, you know, to actually land in the hands of the consumer. So I'm excited about that.
All right, awesome. Hey, but by the way, guys, any more questions from the community? Because
I'm sure Zoom's got another one. Unless he's being beat up.
He can just send me an email. Send me your email address, buddy. I'll onboard you.
He got.
I will say that. I will say that to everybody. Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, I'll get him. I'll get him when we're done here. Sorry.
I will say that to everybody in this community, though, because we aren't live, and I've been doing it everywhere. If you personally know anybody, or you are somebody that needs access to our services, or you think, you know, right? Get me an email address. Don't even send me anything but the email address. I don't care if you make it just for that, and I'll onboard you, right? And we'll at least get you going on it, because that's the important thing, is making sure that the people who need it get it right now.
That's something we should touch on quick as well, is that unless your email has your name in it, like my very old school email does, we don't know who you are, and we don't need to know who you are. There's no data collection on our end. All we do is we forward your emails to LifeWorks. Now, LifeWorks is a health provider, and so you are doxed to LifeWorks. You know, just like you would dox to your doctor, you wouldn't go in and say, "I'm Skate Monkey, can you fix my whatever problem I'm having?"
Yeah, but your email could be, "I want LifeWorks at protonmail.com."
Yeah, but what I'm driving at is that LifeWorks was kind enough to remove the members directory from our live feed inside of the LifeWorks app. And so what that means is that users inside of the app are not doxed to one another. So you're able to retain your anonymity in crypto, but on the LifeWorks side, just like you would with any care provider, they do know who you are, but we don't have direct access to that. We don't want or need it. And so I know a lot of people, they worry about anonymity in crypto, and I'm just driving at the point that you can be involved in MiNDTOKEN and using LifeWorks and never have those two things meet.
That's right.
I think that's important for people, especially when it comes to mental health and reaching out. So, sorry.
That's not a question, guys. Is LifeWorks worldwide, or basically do LifeWorks have worldwide care providing?
LifeWorks offers the full package in 60 countries. That's the telemedicine, that's the legal advice, the fitness app, the mental health care, and all the assessment tools and everything else. That's 60 countries. The mental health services are in 180 countries plus. They're global. If you have an internet connection, you can access a therapist. And so right now and at launch, we're live in Canada, the United States, and the United Kingdom for the full package. And we're live globally for mental health services.
That's right.
Post-launch, one by one, we're going to be moving through Zoom. Yeah, I don't know. Are you a lawyer? One by one, we'll continue to add countries post-launch. And again, you know, that's part of the marketing as well, is that we've got to specifically be marketing these countries as we go. And so, you know, we have to choose those countries based on our user demographics, where people are from, where we feel the demand is, what the user crypto adoption rates are in that country, and so on. And so, you know, we'll be a little bit selective at first as we're kind of, you know, raising the funds to be able to really branch out. But, you know, as I say, we can just continually be adding more and more countries and target marketing them. And so I think it's a good thing. Zoom owns the lawyers. Oh boy. I'm not sure how legal that is. He might need some legal advice about his captive lawyers.
Yep. Any more questions, guys? Come on. Actually, I feel like a lot of people are interested in this. A lot of the guys in here. And
I hope so.
Don't forget, guys, this is an unlimited whitelist. If you want to contribute, you can fill out the form. There's no competition here. Like if you're gonna join the pre-sale, then you don't have to fight anyone for whitelist spots. Everyone in here can get a guaranteed entry. Well, assuming it doesn't sell out in 5 seconds, right? We never
That's
know.
right. Yeah, you probably have 15 minutes after we click send,
Yeah.
right?
They will be fighting when it opens. They'll have 15 minutes to contribute.
Yeah, for sure.
But they can at least get a spot.
And we're not going to grossly, like Dave said, we're not going to grossly over give away the spots. That was the whole thing behind it. Is we kind of wanted to take, Ed and I were both against whitelists in the beginning, so we wanted to kind of take an old school approach and feel to the whitelist where they actually mean something, right? They're not just, here's 1,000 whitelists for your group, thanks, man, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
I've had tokens with like 5,000 members in TG that could barely fill like 200 BNB, right? This one is like super organic. We're almost at the hard cap already with pledged contributions, and we like are literally just started growing this community. So, you know, Boria, one of your questions was how do we make money? It's like buy it and hold it, because we haven't even started the marketing yet. We haven't even started branching out yet. You know, we're literally just filling this pre-sale, and then we're gonna start.
Oh, so in that case, should I do like 10 whitelists for myself?
Hey now.
Hey,
If you want to take that work to get 10 wallets and go to that form 10 times and then have your computer set up.
Yeah, you better have like 10 computers and your gas really high. Or a bot.
Nice.
Don't bot
Well,
me.
you know why I said I just 2x, right? I just 2x and sell. Well, one of my wallets will be 2x, next one 3x, next one 4x, and so on and so on. I will have one, you know, selling probably at 10x, and then I keep one for a moonshot, 100x. That's my strategy.
There you go. And then a year later, you'll be like, why didn't I stay in that project?
No, I have one. See, one investment strategy like in this space that I don't know if you probably know is you sell on doubles. For example, like it doubles, you sell half. It goes doubles again, you sell another half. So you never actually run out of tokens. So you basically every double you sell half. So then you sell a quarter, then you sell 1/8, you sell 1/16, 1/32. So basically you double your money every time it doubles, and you still have tokens left over for the next double. So if a project goes 100x, you won't be able to make 100x on your full wallet, but you'll be making your money all the way up. And then when it dips, which was going to happen, most projects, you know, if it does 100x, it's going to probably most likely go retrace 90%. Then you could always go back and, you know, some of the wallets or some of the tokens you sold at the top, you could go start buying back on a dip. So you'll never really run out of tokens to sell, and you'll always have money to buy back on the dip because you have sold some tokens at a previous, you know, top or high. So it's just an easy strategy. Like it's called like a granny strategy. Like anyone and their grandma could understand it. You know, just sell half on a double, and that's all.
It was my early strategy.
Yeah. I did that on some tokens. I'm like, and they actually went up pretty high. So like I'm glad I did, but other ones I'm like I held for too long because I like the project and I don't want to like sell the top. It's almost like it's detrimental as an investor sometimes when you want to support the devs, because like you want to sell, like this is the top, it's not gonna go any higher than this. But I'm like, I don't want to be the one that causes the crash, you know. But then like, you know, at the end of the day, like I held it and now it's like 70% down. I'm like, I wish it sold. I would have bought more. I
have held through retirement and back to work. So
yeah.
been there.
Yeah, he's been retired 3 or 4 times, I think.
You shut up. Ah, well. I've done well. I've taken 4 times out of crypto what I've put into it, so I have nothing to complain about as far as I'm concerned, unless I'd have to do something tragically stupid to lose at this point. So life's good.
All right, guys. So, guys, by the way, announcement. I think Zoom got kicked out of the house, so now we have to collect the GoFundMe for new apartment for him.
Yeah, has he sent me an email with his
I've got a truck and camper I rent out. Is that going to help?
It's actually not bad. I used it once.
I lent it to Stefan. I didn't even charge him the $175 a night I charge everybody else. So.
All right, any more questions, guys? Zoom, how you holding up? Do you need us to arrange you Airbnb in Bahrain?
In Calgary, I can get him an Airbnb.
Oh. Don't do that to him.
It's
Actually,
a nice house.
he's asking for therapy. Basically, he wants to really use your use case. Basically, prove you guys are actually have the.
Yeah, I told him, send me your email. Yeah, send me your email. You're on. Done.
He'll be onboarded in 15 minutes.
He'll be on board before we even end this thing, if he sends me an email.
Oh, because you guys already have been paying for it since
January. Yeah,
it's live, man. It's all live.
I've been giving it away. Yeah. No, we've onboarded some pretty interesting stories. Like it's yeah.
And it's been useful to us because not only are we able to provide people with that help, but it also proves our legitimacy because they come back and say, "Holy shit, this is real," and so works for us. Onboard them.
All right. So if it works for Zoom, if this therapy session works for Zoom, then we definitely believe what you guys are doing. I'm dropping 100K.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
We've got some testimonials. We've got some testimonials. We actually and I'll bring it up because it was an issue that we brought up to us that we're working on correcting going forward. Is the therapy services provided by LifeWorks are CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, which is the gold standard, as Ed would say, in therapy today. Now we had a user come to us and we onboarded them. However, for their particular issue, that type of therapy didn't work for them. But they did come forward. They explained their situation. They've publicly told their story on our page. They've supported what we were doing. I spoke to them in private, and we ended up working through what the issues were, and they've come back now. They're 100% behind us, just based on what they've got through LifeWorks and how we're working to try and find better ways to deal with different therapies.
Yeah, and we recognize that this is going to, this is not going to be the norm in our systems. This is kind of a niche situation, if you will. However, that is the first of there will be more who have that issue, and so we're already reaching out to e-health providers on the on the open market and seeing if we can retain them. The only concern with that is that we may have to create a separate staking system or a separate onboarding system that links them to that, and we may have to charge a slightly higher monthly staking fee to cover the overheads because, again, LifeWorks is a volume play. And, the more users we retain, the less our cost per user is. And so the bigger we get, the more money from those staking systems can go back into our systems, right? And so it's, it's an exponential situation. But, when it comes to this, it'll be more of a niche sort of thing. And so, yeah, it'll be a little bit of juggling, but it's something that I think we're going to be able to put together for them. So.
Zoom, check DMs, sir, please.
Yeah, I think it might even book couples
question
counseling.
Question
might have
mark.
a 2 for 1. 2 for 1.
That's 2 for 1. I don't know how that's going to play out for you.
Yeah. I was no response.
Yeah.
You could do Boria. You could do couples therapy with Zoom.
Yeah, we already did that plenty of times. We anti-ruggers. We're like we had weddings in here. We had people that we're like almost like a matchmaker. We have people that got divorced on here. That got together on here. Currently, there's some action going on live right now during this AMA. We'll see how that one ends up. But yeah, it's a fun times.
Yes, I'm loving the maturity level in the comment section right now. It's top notch, guys.
Yeah. Also,
But they're not. But you know what? You guys aren't used to a project like us. You're used to having a project that you can jump all over and destroy.
no, if you guys offer therapy for camels also, then I'm sure the Arab community will definitely buy this.
No, so no. I live in a goat town. We don't do camels. We're into goats. Get it right. Look up Coombs, BC, and you'll see what I'm saying.
Is that
I think they sell the sheep
We're-
with rubber boots
we're-
still on them.
We're world famous because we have a market, vegetable market, where they keep goats on a leaky roof above the vegetables, and we think it's good. People come from all around the world to get goat piss covered vegetables cheap. It's pretty special. We live in
It's
a
organic.
special place.
You don't even need pesticides.
No, it's organic.
That's right. That's right.
Organic growth.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Anyways, I think I don't know if anyone has any more questions. Like,
I think we're fully off the rails at this point.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's one of those days. It's like like when you stay up like past midnight. Like the later on it is, the more funnier things become.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I agree.
Honestly, I've never devolved to goat piss on an AMA before, so I think we're done here.
well, I've been gone for like a week. I was on vacation, man. I was on vacation for the last like 4 days. And when I was gone, there's all kinds of talk about, politics, about fetishes, and I don't know what the heck happened over here. And I have to go back here and straighten everyone out.
Yeah. I think you're leading by example.
All right, Zoom is onboarded, everybody.
There you go.
All right, Zoom was gonna tell us how it goes, so we'll know. We like to try the utility before we invest. We like to taste personally taste the offerings.
That's right. Yeah, go fill out all the different what are the different forms they can fill out there.
Like 20 forms. I have VPN.
Yeah.
Like I'm just gonna change my IP every time. Like I have Express VPN, so it's like about like 70 or 80 countries I could use.
Oh yeah, I have that with Norton.
Yeah.
It's interesting. You can use it. It's really interesting. I like changing countries sometimes.
I stopped after the whole Netflix trick stopped working, and they actually added some half decent content to Canada, because for a while there, if you weren't in the United States or the UK, your Netflix sucked. But haven't used it since they improved the service. So.
Yeah, so it was just like actual region bound. So if you're in Canada, you couldn't have USA programming.
Right.
No. So we get different.
It was
we lose a lot
bad.
of shows.
It was really bad. Our Netflix for years was just terrible. And if you weren't using a VPN, you were not getting good content. It was really bad. Yeah. And then they send you warnings, and it's like, well, just give me good content. I mean, I'm paying the same as everybody in the South, but their TV is way better than mine. So,
Yeah, I can only watch kids shows so long.
Yeah. And they didn't have the full season of Dora or anything, so.
Yeah, it's like 2 episodes.
I got kids. At the time, Dora was the big thing in my house. It went on for 2-3 years. It was painful. But,
all right, guys. How about let's do this? Okay, so everyone that wants to whitelist spot, please fill out the form. And whitelist. Yeah. Okay, presale is on July 20th. That's in 2 days from now. So it's on Wednesday. Maximum contribution is 3 BNB. Right, price per token. There's no private sales or anything else, right? It was just this one.
No, there's a 50 BNB private sale.
There was?
Yeah.
Pardon me. Yes.
Did we talk about that already? Because I'm kind of.
Yeah. We used that portion for our web. Remember, we ran everything out of our BNB. Pocket until the yeah.
Was it 40 or 50?
50.
Like that?
50. Yep.
Yeah, we used that to develop our web, pay for our audits, pay for our KYC, all the different, and a little bit of light marketing in the beginning, $800 worth of marketing right when we started, just to just to get going, and then basically the marketing that we've done the last couple 3 weeks.
What's the difference between the price? That's like the very important part is between like the private sale and the pre-sale.
They get a 25% bonus in tokens.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's fair enough. That's not too bad.
You
Okay.
guys
Other
had-
than that, yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, because I
We
think
had
that
very few max contributions in that private
Yeah.
too, right? Like,
Yeah,
I think most people are in for like one BNB.
Yeah, we ran one BNB for a long time. It wasn't until closer to the end when we were just like, let's get this done. When we opened up, we did some math, made sure it would work with 3, and we opened the floor up to 3 BNB, and then we filled it. We went camping actually, and everybody jumped in while we were gone, and we had to quit the sale early. We had to jump in and be like, hey, stop buying, because we oversold a little bit.
Yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere. The second I turned my back on it, it was like, stop, fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's 2 or maybe 3 people who have the full allocation in there. The rest of them are at a 1 BNB or less. I think there's one that has 1.25. And so, for that reason, we didn't vest them, because nobody is holding a massive piece of the supply. And again, these people, the people who topped up, like the people who hold 3 BNB, are people who bought early on when the max was 1 BNB, and then they topped up when given the opportunity. And these are the same people who've been in the background pushing us and promoting us the whole time. And so, yeah, they're fantastic. I'm really happy that they are sticking with us like that. So.
okay. Yeah. So let's wrap it up then. Since now we're going a little bit crazy.
Go join our Telegram and get in.
Yep, and don't forget to contribute. And also, guys, we'll be doing the giveaway shortly after this, after the recording is over, and then I'll tell you a little story about like what's happening with other project that we talked about, that crazy AMA.
I want to hear that. Yeah.
All right, awesome. So let's wrap it up. You guys want to do like a final statement, conclusion? Let's tell everyone to go and contribute or whatever.
I would just highlight the key points. Our utility is real. Our partnership with the world's largest globally health provider is real. The pledges are filling absolutely fast. Our ask is small and reasonable. We're fully doxed. We're fully public. We have a registered corporation. We're KYC with 2 different communities.
Your vetting plans.
Yeah. There's other stuff coming. And we've been picking away at this for a year. We started literally a year ago and worked towards this point. And so, this isn't some flash in the pan thing that we just dreamed up overnight and brought to market. This is long thought out, long planned, and we just took it step by step by step to get to where we are today. And I think we're going to be here for a long, long time. We have we have a product that we can offer next to free. I mean, it is free. I
want this company walking in crypto for a very long time.
Yeah. Whereas, the value of these services on the open market is just massively higher than what you'll get through us. And it's also the complete package and not piecemeal. So we're quite different. We're quite unique. We're bringing a real utility to the space, and we're totally open about it. So I appreciate everybody coming.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, thanks, guys. Enjoyable AMA. We had a lot of fun in here, and a good project, and definitely going to be investing. And you guys do your own research. If he's not convinced, go in the Telegram, ask questions. Go do that anyway. And I'll see you guys over there. Yeah, talk to Zoom. Hopefully Zoom. Yeah, make sure the Zoom gets the therapy that he needs. And
yeah, he's already onboarded.
Yeah. Tell Zoom to live stream. Tell Zoom to live stream his therapy with us.
Wow.
Oh yeah, there you go. Well, maybe not. That might be. That might get.
I don't know. If you read the conversation in Anti-Ruggers in the last few minutes, I think we shouldn't.
Yeah. Maybe we'll keep the camera off for that.
Yeah, you know
Yeah,
what?
there
We'll
you
just
go.
we'll get the Coles notes, just the highlights, and then we'll edit them for appropriateness.
We'll send him the form that he can fill out an anonymous that he can fill out
Yeah.
to tell his story.
I don't think he could be anonymous, man. Like no matter what,
No.
everyone's gonna know it's him.
Right on.
All right, thanks, guys. I'll end the recording right now.
All right.
4, 3, 5, 7, 1.